Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to OG Marv Whispers. I'm your host, OG Marv. Tonight's topic is sharing children with the narcissistic BT-1000. BT stands for Black Trash. 1000 is the level of trash they are. It's really difficult and really frustrating to deal with a person who is not on your level educationally or even in a general sense of just being decent human beings. Fair and unfair, right and wrong, are not that difficult to to discern one from the other. For if you have children with somebody, for that person to turn the ringer off on your contact thing on their phone, or to turn off the text messages so they don't know when you're texting either, that's really a sign of immaturity as well as disrespect. I've never turned my ringer tone off on hers or my text messages because I want to know exactly what she's thinking when she's thinking it. Hell, for all I know, she texted me telling me she's going to kill herself and the kids. I mean, nowadays you can't take anything for granted, and I don't. It's absolutely stupid to do some of the stupid ass shit she does, and and I'm not trying to be all antagonistic tonight. But at the same time, I'm irritated more than anything else because um, uh, I am a little different parent than she is. It doesn't bother her, for her to be away from the children and not, see them on a daily basis or talk to them on a daily basis. I'm not that parent. I'm not. I talk to my daughter as much as I possibly can. I text her or, I have some kind of contact with my daughter on almost a daily basis, except for when she's mad at me. But, and that's another whole story. I'm going to do a video about kids and mad, how that pans out. But the bottom line is, when you're dealing with a parent who's supposed to be a responsible person, a grown up, an adult, or as these women these BT-1000 like to call themselves, well, I'm a grown ass woman. Well, act like a grown ass woman and answer your goddamn phone. Answer my text. You know what I'm saying? I'm the father of your children. Idiot. How much brain power does it take to figure out, okay, this is my kid's dad, maybe I need to take his call? I have never not taken a call from my children's mothers. None of them. I don't give a damn how much I don't like them or whatever I put there. I don't have any that I absolutely don't like. Um, and even if I didn't like them, I still wouldn't, do certain things because they are the mothers of my children, and therefore, that gives them a certain, that gives them a certain level with me, so to speak. It's like, we all have priorities within our lives of people, our friends, then there's business, and then there's people that you're associated with that you don't necessarily want to be or call friends, but you do know them, so they're associates. So there's different tiers, different levels. Babies' mamas are in a category by themselves with me, and the moment you are a mother of one of my children, then that automatically gives you a certain pipeline to me directly. Okay, and so I'm never going to shut that off or turn it off or ignore it. For this idiot to do that, it makes no sense, especially in light of the fact that we are broken up because of her and her actions and her inability to keep her legs closed and to stay within the confines of our family. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't go tipping out on her. If somebody didn't know us, or say a blind person even ever heard us talk, you would think that I was the person that caused this breakup, and she's angry with me because I caused us to break up because I was out doing inappropriate things. When in fact it was her that was out there doing the inappropriate things, and it just burns my ass up that she wants to treat me as though I'm the perp. I'm not the perp. She's the perp. Clearly, make no damn mistake. She is clearly the perp, the person that perpetuated this situation and made it into what it is, and the reason why we are where we are right now. And I'll be honest with you, we weren't married, so the laws that govern, seeing your children and things of that nature are a little different. I mean, they're not different like that, but what I'm saying is, you don't have the leverage that you should have or that you would have if the two of you were married. I am also of a mind to think that when a person, like in other words, I should never have to be without my children. I didn't do anything to have to go days or weeks or any other damn time without being able to see my kids. If anybody shouldn't be allowed or should have a time that they don't see the kids for any length of time, it should be her. She was the one out there fucking and doing all kinds of ratchet ass shit that she had no business doing. I mean, most people in the normal world, divorce people for that reason or get rid of them for that reason. But like our court system doesn't take that into consideration when dealing with parents' rights. The parent who's out there doing the fucked up shit doesn't get punished or anything. It's basically okay. Well, now the two of you done broke up, so now we just want to do whatever's best for the children, which that's good because at least for me it is. Because in this situation, clearly I'm the better parent, not hands down. Okay, I mean this chick does absolutely nothing that a child can learn anything from. And then she doesn't have the ability. You can't teach a child something you yourself don't know. That's bottom line. You can't teach nobody something you don't know yourself. You damn sure can't teach a child or expect a child to listen to you when you're trying to tell them things about morality and things of that nature. When they look back and see what kind of person you were and say, well, wait a minute, you were out there doing this. They can't put it in a certain in the terms of which I can, but they can let you know that what you were doing out there, was not the right thing to do. But how you going to tell somebody to do something that you yourself didn't do? That's my point. And that's the same as trying to teach somebody something you don't know. You can't tell somebody to do something that you yourself didn't do. I've never been a person who, in a situation where I have some responsibility of leading other people, I've never asked anyone to do something that I myself wouldn't do or hadn't done. And because I learned this back in the service when I was like 17 years old. Because like back in those days, the Vietnam War was going on. Luckily, I was smart enough not to let the army take me over there. But what I had been hearing while I was in basic training in AIT was that these officers, they have officers that are people who go to West Point or the Naval Academy and things of that nature, and they come out as ranking. What am I trying to say? They come out as people with rank, like say in the Army. I don't really know the breakdown of the Navy thing, but I know in the Army you can go to West Point and you come out. I think the very least you come out is a lieutenant. So okay, so now lieutenants and up have certain privileges that from underneath lieutenants, whatever that is, master sergeant on down, don't have. So when they go to Vietnam or they go to a war zone, they come in there automatically protected from certain things, which understandably would piss off the rank and file. I know if I was soldier, and I've been over here for say a year. I've been on tour of duty a year in Vietnam or Iraq or wherever we're having a war at. Some idiot comes over here from fresh out of boot camp, and all of a sudden he's trying to tell me what to do. I don't think so. What used to happen back those days, they used to do what they call frag the officers. That's where or those kind of officers. That's where you take a grenade, and when the officers are sleeping in their tent, you roll the grenade and then blow them the fuck up. So you can't come in and do things and tell people to do something that you yourself don't do. That's where I'm going with this. How in the hell is she going to tell our daughter not to be a hoe when she was a hoe? How you going to teach our daughter morality and not to open your legs to niggas if that's what you were doing? That's what caused you to break up with her father. Our daughter's not stupid. I'm sure she could hear some of the arguments that we had. And so, I mean, that being said, not saying that I would, that I want her to know those things, but at the same time, life is, reality, and you can't hide reality from children. You can dress it up any kind of way you want, but I'm gonna tell you one thing: when they get a bit older, they're gonna resent you if you weren't honest with them. As I know that for a fact because I grew up in a period where we were believing in Easter bunnies and Santa Claus and all this shit. And then when I got about I think about 8 or 9 years old, all of a sudden my parents were telling me that these things don't exist, which hurt me to my heart. Well, I'm thinking, well, goddamn it, for the last 8 years you've been telling me this shit exists. Now you're gonna tell me it doesn't exist? So basically, you've been lying to me for the last 8 or 9 years. Kids don't want to be lied to. I ain't gonna lie. I don't do it. And I will not say something. I'll leave something out because it's inappropriate for their age, but I'm not gonna lie to them. I'll tell you one thing. Had I known, and I guess there is no way to really prevent this from happening, ahead of time. But had I known that she was going to turn out the way she did, I've not seen too many people go backwards in life, and that's pretty much what she did. She went backwards. Most people improved in their position or the situation rather than go backwards and make it worse than it was coming in. When she first moved over there to that project she lives in, she wasn't nearly the tramp and the hoe that she is now. Well, she was kind of the hoe she is, but she's gotten even more trashy with it because of the people that she's hanging around with over there. She made friends with this one lady in particular. That that lady there was like I already knew when she walked in our house and sat in our house and I heard her talking for 5 minutes. And 5 minutes into her conversation, I knew that it was going to be trouble in my house with my kid's mother because of the mindset that this lady was bringing there. And birds of a feather flock together. I noticed that nobody of really any maturity level or education level mess with her. Only people that do mess with her are people that are either on her level or less. So that being said, by that time, we'd been together on 12 years already, and she hadn't demonstrated anything in terms of promise to be anything other than what she is right now. That's nothing. I don't even know if she has the ability to even go out there and get a job. Who would hire her with the communication skills that she has? Her inability to communicate and say what she means and mean what she says and know how to use the King's English leaves a lot to be desired. So quite naturally, if you're not comfortable being able to speak to people and talk to people, closed mouth don't get fed. And once she opens her mouth, you can tell right away that she's not too very well educated. Doesn't take, she's just like her friend that came over to our house and started talking in 5 minutes into that conversation. I realized this bitch don't know her ass from a hole in the ground and wasn't going to be able to show my lady at the time how to do anything. She wasn't going to be able to. She didn't come to the table with anything that I thought was usable for my baby's mother to better herself with. I knew this bitch wasn't going to do anything but just drag her down, and that's exactly what she's done. I know smoking ain't cool, but look, if I didn't smoke, I'd kill somebody. She either smoke and do this, or go get me a gun and straighten it out, and then I'd be sitting in prison somewhere. But anyway, bottom line is, when you deal with a narcissistic person, narcissists tend to want to blame everybody but themselves for any situation they get themselves in. It's not cool. Like you would listen to my baby's mother speak on us, she would tell you this is all my fault somehow. Was I out there working and sleeping around and call myself like she's out with this one stupid motherfucker, and she was acting like they were in a relationship. Now you live in Sacramento with me, but you down there in the Bay acting like you this nigga's woman. And the nigga just walked away from her. I mean, that cracked me up. I saw him do it. She accidentally had her phone on, and the nigga just left her. And I was rolling. I was really rolling, and it did me good. I'm glad that I got a chance to see that because this nigga had more sense than I did when it came to her. He knew to walk away from that bitch, and that he did the right thing. I should have done that myself. Although I guess God had other plans because I had walked away from her when I first realized that she was a hoe. My two beautiful children wouldn't have been here. Well, maybe the one would have got here, but because I kind of was in denial when that one was born. But by the time the second one got here, I knew, of course, I already knew she was a hoe. I mean, but I tried to keep it together because, I had this idea of wanting to be a family. And, I kept hoping that, whatever she was going through was a phase and she would outgrow it. But she didn't. She never outgrew it. She's damn near 34 years old. And she ain't outgrow shit. Only thing she keeps doing is getting ignorant, more ignorant by the day, going backwards. And, the reason why she hates me so much is because I'm intelligent. I can speak. I have great command of the King's English, and I know how to communicate. I also know when I see dumb shit. I know when I see trash. I know when I see black trash. Clearly, she's a black trash. This is what I call her BT-1000. I didn't understand the phrase evenly yoked, which now is coming into play because we are not equally yoked in no way. Usually, I have gotten with younger women before, and generally, what happens is the young ladies usually come up to me. They come to my standard. They try to reach and attain my standard. This bitch didn't do that. This bitch went the other direction and resented my standard. She resents education. She resents anything having to do with anything that's right. Anything that's educational, anything that has anything to do with bettering yourself. She's not interested in that. If it ain't got nothing to do with weed, or sex, she has no knowledge of it, or nothing she can speak intelligently on about it. You don't have any way of knowing that a person's going to do what she did and go the direction she went in. But to be honest with you, I was totally surprised. There may be some people in my family who might say, well, he should have been surprised because he should have seen that coming. Well, I am one of these people that don't like to give up on people until I know that the door is shut and there's no way this person is going to come out. I can tell you one thing, I do know this. At 30 something, in your mid 30s, whatever you are by the time you get that age is what you're going to be. I haven't seen too many people, and I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying I haven't seen too many people go and take their level of where they are in life and reverse themselves and actually get better past 34, 35 years old. I haven't seen that happen because that takes a hell of a lot of effort and something somebody else said to me. One of my cousins told me one time. He uses this expression called it takes a concentrated effort to change, to affect a change. In other words, you have to be mindful all the time that the way you live and your mindset isn't right, and to change your mindset, you have to be conscious of that at all times, and do things that change that mindset. Well, if you're high all the time, pretty much that's not going to be attainable for you. And if your values and your morals are not of a certain level already, you know, raising them up to a different standard is a very difficult thing for a person to do. If you didn't already come with that standard, or if that wasn't instilled in you by your parents, it's going to be kind of hard or difficult if it can even be done at all to do it yourself on your own. Person has to have a lot of self-discipline, and this person has none of that. She has no self-discipline. She doesn't have a whole lot of self-esteem. Only thing she has is a bunch of hatred and a bunch of ignorant shit. Ignorant nigga shit is what I call it. And there's not a whole lot you can do with that. Anyway, I'll be glad when I don't have to deal with this motherfucker no more, and she can go on about her ignorant ass way and just be the ignorant bitch that she is, because that is what she is. She's an ignorant bitch. If I had known this is what she's going to be, I would have never, wasted those years with her. Not at all. I'm kind of upset with myself for having done that. But then again, I'm not, because you think that, like I say, most people when they see a person who's on a certain level, they try to get to that level as well. This idiot didn't do that. The only thing she's seen is fucking dick. That's all she cares about. Is fucking dick, weed, weed. That's sad. It's real sad. Because she's a typical uh, BT-1000. BT-1000s are sad. How are you going to teach your daughter not to be a BT-1000 if you yourself are one? And if you yourself don't even know how to stop being that. Bottom line, you can't teach somebody something you don't know. And if you don't have the qualifications and the skills to do it, it's a dead issue. But thank God my kids have me, because I can keep them on some sort of balance. And I'm on the other end of the spectrum, because her and I are totally opposites. I mean, totally opposites on pretty much everything. Only thing we do have in common is we both like to smoke weed. Other than yeah, we both like sex, but I don't like it like that, and not to that degree. You got to you got to come with something. You got to bring something to the table besides pussy for me to be interested. Anyway, that's my rant for tonight. And like I like to say, but no, actually, I'm going to change what I say. I still want you to know that angels fly because they take themselves lightly. But when you go to the zoo, don't bring the gorilla home with you. Good night.